Hey, I'm Fred.
And I'm Ant.
And this is Creator Generation.
Create a generation of hype.
All right, Freddie boy, what is happening this week?
This week we're chatting with Nick Barbieri, who had a very large, successful channel at over 1 million subs, but is now a creative director for another couple of YouTubers, Preston and Brianna, who run some mega channels.
I think there's a level that you hit where you can't scale indefinitely and still have the spirit of that creator.
Just a quick note, this is a cut down version of this interview. If you want to check out the whole podcast, head on over to your favorite podcast platform like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and you can check it out there. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
All right, welcome back to Creator Generation. This week we are joined by SGC. God, I've got the letters in the right order, I think. Barbierian.
That's the hardest part.
Nick Barbieri. Did I get that right, Nick?
You're a lot closer than most people. It's Barbieri, but I've been told my entire life that I pronounce it wrong. But that's the tradition that goes back 3 generations in my family, so I'm going to roll with it.
I like that. Own it. Hey, Nick, well, thank you so much for joining. I was super psyched that you said yes to join us on the podcast. And you're telling us you're psyched to be here, so I'm going to cash in on that later. But why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
So I guess the 30-second elevator pitch, I'm a creator that started back in 2009. I started off making, if you guys know what tech deck is, those little fingerboards. Started off by making those when I was 11 in 2008 and realized I needed a way to market these. So I threw videos up on the internet thinking, hey, maybe someone will buy these fingerboards. That basically turned into me really enjoying YouTube, realizing, when the partnership program came out, hey, that you could actually make money off of views at this point, and kind of shifting my focus from like the manual labor of making these fingerboards, which is a very time-consuming process for about $30 gross sale. Like, it's not a very monetarily rewarding hobby. So about when I was 14, I got into the Call of Duty commentary scene, joined up with Machinima through the years, did Minecraft content. I think most people, maybe not that are finding this show, but like if they've heard of SGC Barbierian, probably know me from like the Minecraft series. After high school, moved out to Seattle, worked at a YouTube company in like 2014, like very early in that sort of realm. I feel like now everybody's got sort of a team behind them, but at that point it was very new and exciting. So did that instead of college. And about 3 years after that, or 3 years later, moved back to Boston, did my own production company, kind of gave my channel sort of like one last push. But the last step, I guess I could tease it, save it, but I ended up in Texas working for another creator, Preston and Brianna. So pretty happy with my final landing place. It's been a journey to get here, but you learn a lot from the things that maybe don't go exactly as planned. Let's just say that.
It's awesome. And finding your forever home in your mid-20s is a beautiful thing. Let's go. Can I go way back? Like, what was the thing that really sparked your passion into like creating YouTube content or video content?
One crazy thing is I used to be really afraid of speaking in front of an audience or speaking in front of public speaking in general really freaked me out as a kid. And I think genuinely, like, I remember from 8th grade to like, I think it was sophomore year, I took a public speaking course and it was so easy for me. I was shocked. It was the easiest A I've ever gotten. I never had to write anything. I could just riff. And that's when I feel like that's the first time it really clicked, where it's like, I'm really building skills here. And like these skills may, down the line, I can't take all the credit. Like, I've had some great people around me who have sort of told me the way that this space is looking like it's going, and I'm able to sort of adjust my plan. But yeah, I think that's like the first era, if you want to call it that.
You guys, you work with Preston and Brianna. You've got this thing like the tbnr. Like, maybe, like, I want to dig down and like get solid advice from you, because you have plenty of advice to be able to give, from like the independent creator right up to like sort of building a media network. But maybe, like, if you're allowed to, like, a lot of people still don't realize there's teams behind creators. Like, what's it like working on some of these bigger channels? Like, how does that all come about and come together to make like content?
I hope I have advice to give on this. I can't say I've figured it out by any stretch. We're very much in the early stages. I mean, I think anybody is, right? There's a few companies that have scaled to the point of maybe you'd consider them as big as traditional media, like Rooster Teeth, I think is one that always comes to mind. But I think there's a level that you hit where you can't scale indefinitely and still have the spirit of that creator, right? Where it becomes very sort of like how my hide and seeks got, it's like, this is the formula. We're going to do the formula. We're not really going to think about the formula. We're not going to constantly, like, the reason Mr. Beast is so good, the thing that we strive to do every video is like, we want to improve every single time. We want to make sure the next video is like, they saw the last one and they were so satisfied, but this next one just blows their mind. They click it twice as fast, right? Like, so I think what you're asking for is kind of like context about the team. So I'll just kind of run through our company structure. So we've got a director of strategy that sits across the table from me. We've got a production manager who sort of manages the day-to-day production team. We've got a head of production or head of post-production who manages the team of 6 editors that cut, the 6 or 7 channels that we're up to now. It fluctuates depending on if we're uploading Roblox or not, but that would be, and then on my side, like I've got my job title is creative director. I like to think that I'm just kind of the only other person in the room that's done YouTube before. And that has, a lot of value when you're stepping in as a new employee and your first week is you literally have to film a YouTube video and that video is going to get seen by millions of people. And, if you're coming from a film background, you might have a completely different idea of what it takes to make that video. So, I work mainly with the creative team, coming up with the video concepts, direction of the channels. I'm trying to think of any other positions. I mean, it's just like a traditional film set. There are PAs. The difference is, I think, we're trying to be like a very small, fast boat versus Disney, which is this giant cruise ship that, everybody's got like a specific role. I'd say that the people who we look for and that most teams look for in the space are people who are multifaceted, like willing to learn, willing to also accept that maybe the way they were taught, was not the really correct way. I mean, if you do a marketing degree, which I always love talking to, it's like, what did they teach you? Did they teach you about billboards? Because I just can't believe that's relevant in 2020. Maybe it is. Maybe that's like the secret lesson that they learn. But it's the same with film. A lot of people don't like being told, hey, all these rules you learned in film school, they don't really apply to YouTube. And guess what? There's all these weird YouTube rules that you have to learn. That's just like, why do you do that? Well, because that's what people do on YouTube. It's like, and when to push those boundaries versus when like, that's just a hard, fast rule, like we're just going to always stay with that. I feel like I ramble every question. So you guys, please cut me off. I'm not saying relevant info.
I mean, look,
we're really keen to lift the lid on what is happening in YouTube and how it all works.
Oh, that's the perfect. I was waiting to pull this out because I'm pretty sure I'm the first one to bring it on. It's not even mine, but figured you guys wouldn't mind having a 10 million subscriber. I'll make the thumbnail face. There we go. Now you guys can use that for clickbait.
I love a bit of YouTube face. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm well versed in them.
Nice. But maybe you mentioned before about obviously having multiple channels and managing multiple channels as part of your, that network you have. A lot of people do ask about this. It's like, why do these creators have multiple channels? Why not try and, push people towards 1 or 2, 3 channels? Like, why so many? I mean, I think we know the technical answer to that, but like, how have your channels developed, and what are the specific audiences that go to them exactly?
So the channels I'm talking about, we have Preston and Bree as our main 2 talent. They both have real life channels where we post our, that's the one that went from Minecraft to real life, and we did that whole pivot 2 years into real life posts. That's our real life channel. And Bree has one as well. Brianna plays and Preston plays. Those are the Minecraft channels. So our audience, obviously, we had a 7 million subscriber channel that was basically being turned from Minecraft to real life. We had to give those people a place to watch Minecraft content. And still, that's what Preston was known for. He's made thousands of Minecraft videos. That's how we met, recording Minecraft hide and seeks. We also have 2 Roblox channels. Preston has a tbnr frags channel, which is actually his very first YouTube channel. And I think that's it. Oh, and I'm forgetting Keely, his sister, who has one channel launched and one channel that we're looking to launch. And same sort of thesis is like separating the game audiences. Even though it's all gaming content, you know, we're not really variety gamers. We like to focus in and like really, you know, what's the best Minecraft video we can film and how can we grow the biggest Minecraft audience, and at the same time being cognizant of the fact that like that audience might not enjoy us uploading Roblox 2 times a week. And with the way that YouTube works, AVD, CTR being as important as they are, you know, it's literally better to not upload a video than to upload a bad video or something. When I say bad, I mean something that's not going to satisfy the audience that you want. And for us, it was just easier to kind of separate that, make it a very clear, distinct line. If you like this type of content, you go here. If you like this type of content, you go here. And what that allows us to do is let YouTube organically promote us in their algorithm, because we're satisfying a Minecraft audience with every single post. So YouTube's going to show our videos to more and more Minecraft fans. And that's sort of like our thesis behind, you know, the multiple channels, as opposed to, and there's no wrong answer. There's a variety gamer, you know, for every person that does it our way. I think this way is just a little bit more sustainable, and it allows us to kind of ebb and flow with, you know, maybe we don't have a ton of time to post Roblox all the time, but that channel is never going to be, you know, that Roblox audience never goes away. We can come back to those channels in a month's time, whenever we have the time to post something. That's kind of just how we've always approached it.
And how do you manage? I mean, obviously with such a big network, you have obviously multiple sort of revenue streams. You have like obviously the sophistication required around that would be a whole lot more. It's not just purely YouTube ads, is it?
No. So our main revenue is, you know, we do a lot of brand deals, a lot of direct brands. You know, we're with Night Media as our agency or our managing service. They're a great company, very YouTube savvy, very, very in the world. Preston also has his own merch in-house. So a lot of YouTubers will partner up with a merch distributor and, you know, just drop ship essentially, like you funnel the orders through and that company takes care of everything. That wasn't really Preston's approach from the beginning. He started his own in-house merch company, and you know, I think there might be more employees there than there are on tbnr side. So just packaging, manufacturing, you know, they run all the sales, all the website, everything is in-house. So that's a major difference. And I wouldn't even say that's you know, a major like revenue stream, but more so just something, again, like I work for a genuinely good guy, and that's like the big difference for me is like this guy didn't want to just take the easy route. He wanted to take the route that, you know, provides jobs for people and like allows him to keep a really tight hold on the quality of what he's selling to his fans, a lot of whom are young kids. So we've got that. You know, Preston's had a variety of different things that he's been involved with, Cosmic. But as far as our company goes, I'd say it's mainly AdSense and, you know, the brand deals that we do. I mean, there's no storefront, you know, like a traditional company. There's no like Preston store you can walk into and buy a bunch of stuff. There's a website, there's the YouTube channel. You know, we don't really do a lot of like hard right hook asks for our fans where it's like, hey, go buy this. Like the merch is always there. There's a general awareness of it. That's about as far as we go. I mean, the best way people can support us is watching our content. And it's a lot easier to do that if we put out good content. So that's kind of like the cycle. It's like it all comes down to just putting out good videos. If you do that, the rest of the stuff is honestly, you can figure it out as you go. You can do a variety of different options. It's all going to end up good if you satisfy your audience. That's
an awesome point. I love that. Hey, going back to like an independent creator, right? They don't have an employee. Maybe someone edits remotely for them, rough cuts or something. But like, what should that creator be focusing on? Like, what would have you loved someone told you? Like, how do you knock 6 months off that runway for someone, or 6 years even for some people?
So I have some very canned generic advice, but I always like to put my twist on it. So everybody always says, you know, make videos about what you're passionate about. And I think when they're saying that, they're kind of just copping out. But I do agree with it in the sense that if you're actually enjoying what you're doing, right? I genuinely enjoyed Call of Duty trick shots. It never paid off for me. I am not FaZe. Like my Call of Duty clan did not turn into this worldwide esports organization. But at the same time, I got a lot of value in the repetition of, you know, loading software, editing. Like I'm computer savvy because I spent so much time trying to figure out like, you know, how can I record this Hapage in better quality, you know, like troubleshooting. It all led to the next step, the next season in life. And like, I think it's a lot easier to get that experience versus if you're not passionate about what you're making, you're just trying to jump on, you know, whatever you see that's working, whether it be vlogs or gameplay or whatever. And you're not genuinely, you know, you're trying to make gaming videos, but you've never played video games. You just think it's the thing to do. You saw Ninja. You're like, wow, that must be me. You're going to burn out in 2 weeks trying to do that versus maybe you really like running. There's probably not a huge audience for running vlogs, but if you made a vlog about running, you're going to enjoy doing that a lot more and you're probably going to stick with it. And I think that's the thing people have to understand is it's not about this, you know, nobody blows up by accident. Like you have to put in the work. You're going to probably, if you're like me, it took me 5 different distinct cycles to find like the position, the area, the content that I feel really confident that, you know, like I'm meant to make this type of videos. And like, even now I'm already experimenting in my head and thinking and trying to figure out like, where do we take Preston and Bree next? Right. So that's my generic canned answer with a little twist in the end.
Thank you so much for joining us on Creator Generation and being so forthright and honest and open with everyone. It's been awesome.
No, I told you guys off air, but I really appreciate the sentiment behind this content, behind this channel, this podcast. It's something I think that if you're an independent creator, like this is what you want to be consuming. And, you know, there's dozens, if not hundreds of channels making it now. And y'all have a better advantage than me because there was not that many people talking about this when I started. And I think you guys are doing a good service for the community. I really appreciate it. And listen, I'll be back on when y'all hit the 1,000 subscribers. I don't know what number we want to use, but make sure you guys subscribe to this awesome channel. Little CTA for you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks so much.
You're kind. Thanks, mate.
Create a generation. Look on the mic.